What's up guys, Sub-Zero here, back for something a little bit different. So I'm going to be on vacation starting the 12th until the 18th of this month, but I wanted to post stuff for you guys during those days. Don't want to just leave nothing out on my YouTube. So I got permission from some of my students who have gotten coaching from me to post their sessions to YouTube. So thank you to all the students who were cool with this. I want to say first things first, absolutely, these students were so kind in allowing me to post their sessions. I feel like all of them are really valuable sessions that can teach a lot of really cool stuff, but be nice. The main thing I see that I hate whenever I post a coaching session to YouTube is people flaming in the comments. Most of the time people have been good after I've told you guys to be nice about it, but please be nice in the comments. These people are being very brave and allowing their mistakes to be posted on YouTube for the world to see. So I really appreciate that from them, and I want you guys to have that same appreciation. And so just, you know, be nice. Everybody makes mistakes in TFTs. I swear, if any of you say, I can't believe this player made this mistake, and I watch your own games, I bet I see some way more egregious stuff is all I'm saying. The other thing that I will say is that if you like what you see in the session, you think, wow, that seems really informative, that seems like a great way to get to improve a TFT, then you can schedule a session yourself. You can go to my Metafy, scroll down here and book your session here. I also have coaching bundles down here. And the other things that I want to shout out, which are a little bit lesser known and also a little bit cheaper if you don't want to pay for like a full session or something like that, are two things. One is my Strongest Board Masterclass. This is going to be kind of like a group session where I'm going to be teaching a class on how to play Strongest Board. So you click onto this, you sign up for the class, and we're all going to hop into a Discord server and go through. Basically, I'm going to go through some of a PowerPoint presentation and also just some examples about how to play Strongest Board in TFT. I think it's going to be really fun and really helpful. So join that if you're interested. And the other thing is this, which is a Metafy group. What I'm going to be posting here for the people who are like the higher tier subscribers, there's one tier, I think it's $10. For anyone who subscribes to this, I'm going to post any and all coaching VODs as long as people are cool with it, of course. I'm not going to like post a coaching VOD if somebody doesn't want to. But after every session, I'm going to say, hey, are you cool with me posting my coaching VOD to the Metafy? So if you enjoyed this content and want to see more of it, I already, once this video goes out, I'm going to have a VOD from coaching on here that is not available on YouTube. So if you're interested in more exclusive coaching VODs in the future, they're basically all going to be here. So go to the group, pay the $10 to join the group, and you can see more coaching VODs. So with that all being said, let's get into the video. Thanks everybody for allowing me to post their sessions. All right, I'm here to do your VOD review. Let me look at what you said again, just because it's been a sec since I looked at it. Got hard stuck in Master LP. After hitting Masters, I started playing for fun, messing around with new artifacts, get my MMR destroyed. Now I climb 80 LP and lose it after 1/8. So I thought, get some help, I can repair my MMR. True, I mean, that's a good... it's a good perspective to think that you can repair it. Some people just are like, oh, my MMR sucks, I gotta make a new account. But like, as long as you top 4 more games than you bot for, then your MMR will get better. About what I think I'm doing wrong. In general, I feel like I play early game well, but mess up late game, playing too greedy, bad with Ashe and Kaisa comps, bad at positioning. And then you said probably the 8 Bruiser game would be nice to get reviewed. So let's check that one out. So yeah, we'll see late game versus early game. I mean, honestly, I would like to start the VOD at 1-2 at the earliest, because it could change what we, you know, like you could maybe potentially make different decisions about what you want to pick up. It is just good to see everything, because as far as early game, like you say, you're pretty good at early game, but like the early game, I feel like can determine so much of your late game. Like even this start, it's kind of interesting. Like we have the Yasuo pair, we have this this combination of items. I think I would hold on to the Darius over the Garen pair. Garen pair obviously pairs well with the Riven, but I think it's more likely that we're actually going to play around Yasuo this opener. So we get dropped Darius. You want to hold the Garen pair because of course it's a Garen pair and it pairs well with the Riven. But I mean, we're almost guaranteed to be playing Yasuo on our early game board, and getting Duelist in for him would be really nice. So like even small things like that can change how our early game plays. There's the Darius again, so we would have had Darius pair, but, you know, Copium, it's the same Darius. I should say we should certainly hold this Darius. Also, I don't know if we've checked Exalted this game or Ink Shadow, but those are the two things I do at the start of every game, is check Exalted, check Ink Shadow, because they can make a big difference. Yeah, I mean, this already could make a big difference. We would potentially have Darius 2 from this spot here. I think it's fine to hold all this stuff. You should definitely hold Caitlyn because you actually don't have backline right now. She could be a decent backliner for you. And then item slam wise, there's basically only Even Shroud, which is an item I don't love. It's okay though. But let's at least see our augment first before we think about stuff. Actually, I kind of like slamming a lot in this spot because it gives you the chance to make something here. Don't really love Healing Orbs opener. Wandering Trainer is okay. It's more fun than slamming, but I love slamming, especially in a spot like this where we don't have anything we want to make immediately. This gives us a component. So like, you know, if we get a sword, we can make IE. If we get a bow, we can make the Last Whisper. If we get like a tier, we can make Redemption. If we get a chain, we can make Gargoyle. Like we can basically slam anything here. Rod could be Morello, it could be Spark. So yeah, I would always go first. I would default towards Slamming here. I think Wandering Trainer's about the same in terms of strength, maybe a little bit weaker. But hey, we get Ultras plus Bruiser here, so we have a very straightforward opener now. We do get Garen 2 in shop, so we're going to opt to play that. I like this. Talisman here. So we're going to be playing... I mean, we're actually not sure we're playing here, but I think it's pretty likely that we're going to play an AD game here. I think Talisman of Speed is solid. Yeah, I think this is good because you can think about the shred one as well. But yeah, okay. I don't know why we're clumping our positioning like this around the dummy. I usually like to just frontline the dummy because I want it to die first. Because with it back here, there's a chance that some of your higher priority units will die first. Like for example, even in this fight here, I'd much prefer the dummy die before the Riven because Riven can actually deal like significant damage with the buffs her if she can get her casts off. Like she doesn't actually get this cast off. Actually, she might get it off like right at the end there because the dummy is back here. So I'd much prefer just put the dummy up. Also, this increases your chance of getting like AoE'd by something, which is kind of awkward. This is a close fight. So, and we are gonna win. Okay, I'd buy the Koboko for sure. Nice. But yeah, just to speak about our spot a little bit. We have a pretty solid opener. We just kind of need item holders for AD items. And then also we really need like this is kind of the hard part is we could slam something like an Even Shroud here. It just makes the rest of our items so bad. I think I'm down to just not slam Even Shroud just because of how important LW is on Kai'Sa and because of how good these items are going to be on Galio later. You have to play the Soraka here of the day, and I think that's good. Soraka is a pretty solid early game unit, so I think that's our best addition here. Ooh, wow, this could, okay. This is a big decision point here. So what do we want in this spot? Well, one, I would say we should have checked our Ink Shadow here. I don't know if we did check it earlier. I don't remember seeing Ink Shadow be checked here because your Kai'Sa items kind of change depending on what your Ink Shadow is. Like if you have an offensive Ink Shadow like Bombardment or something like that, then you worry less about making a third item for Kai'Sa. So what are our options here? Tier, I don't love tier. It's really between sword and chain, right? Chain could be Gargoyle, Bramble Vest, and then sword could be IE Deathblade, both of which are pretty solid. It's actually a pretty tough decision, but yeah, I don't think it's either of these ever. I think it's chain here. The only awkward thing is we get a little bit far away from Kai'Sa items, but we don't really have anyone to hold the DBIE at this spot, and we have a guarantee that can hold on to a Gargoyle Bramble Vest here. So I think it's, yeah, I think it has to be chain in this spot. It's also fantastic on your Bruiser. Like gonna be, like we're very likely to play around some kind of like 4 Bruiser mid game. We're decently likely to play around some kind of 4 Bruiser mid game, and so having the extra like Gargoyle and Bramble onto, like, say we have like a Tom Kench 2 in the mid game or something like that, that would be like fantastic for us. Because yeah, like we take this here, but it just doesn't spike our board that much. We're on a 2 streak here. Like we can play for win streak in this position if we take the other option there. I absolutely wouldn't sell the Koboko. Like I said, I think with Bruiser as our dummy, there's a very high chance that we actually play around Bruiser in our mid game. Yeah, the only downside to taking the chain is that obviously you don't get the IE, but I mean tank items are important in their own right as well. So yeah, and the Deathblade is obviously solid on Kai'Sa. Yeah, I mean at this point here we're looking for either bow or glove or a frontline item here, either the Gargoyle or the Redemption. I like the Gargoyle here. It's on a 3 cost. It's on a Soraka as well. Yeah, you can just take Gargoyle here. I like it. The glove's not terrible either, but yeah, getting the Gargoyle feels really, really good here. We're gonna level up. We don't have the Diana to play anymore, which is a little... Wait, why did we make it on the Soraka though? Oh, like, I mean, you were probably holding the Soraka this round if you didn't do that, because we can't really make gold very easily. You're throwing a random Teemo on this board. Probably not. I mean, if we still had the Kobuko, you could play Kobuko. I mean, you could even think about playing Fortune Stage 3 if you held it, but it's like pretty expensive. Probably your best in here is Aphelios or a second Zyra. I don't think Teemo does that much here. I would say Aphelios here. You're doing a lot of physical damage with the IE and the DB, and so getting the armor shred off of Aphelios would be really, really nice. And yeah, like Teemo doesn't really like we don't have trick shot in because we're not playing around Sivir. So just always in spots like this, try to think about what actually is your strongest board here. I feel like it has to be Aphelios for the armor shred. Ooh, support items here. Okay. I mean, Moonstone's just a broken item in general. I would probably just snap pick that, and the other ones are pretty bad. I mean, Zeke's is okay, but Moonstone is just broken. Yeah, I would just snap pick Moonstone. Yeah, Zeke's is, like I said, Zeke's, if items were balanced, I think Zeke's kind of makes sense here, but items are not balanced. This is a good spot to just like look at stats. So go to like tactics.tools, pull it up, go to support, items, and then sort by AVP. Moonstone is like the best item by far. And you know, like you compare that to your Zeke's, which is it's like down here. You know, it's not much worse. But Moonstone is just like zero 0.2 placements higher, and I think it's also really good in your spot. Just to provide more HP to the gargoyle that you have here. I would play Atrox over the Teemo. If you don't want to play Atrox, you could play Volibear. But yeah, I don't think it's Teemo. And you can still make gold even if you play the Atrox, so I think that's fine to build a slightly stronger board. Like I was saying, the 4 Bruiser mid-game is probably what we're going to play, is what I would want to play towards here, just because it's really easy to play. It gives you a lot of beefy frontline. Yeah, I mean, when you have this dummy, it's just really easy to fit that in. Like, you know, our level up could be like a Tom Kench, and that could just be our board. And I mean, hey, we hit the Zyra too. Zyra, a fantastic unit. Oh my god, that's a lot of gold. Okay, ooh, hold the... we have to be careful what we sell here. Because Alawi fits really well onto this board. The problem is, like, we should wait until we get this last orb. Because ideally in this spot, I would hold Alawi Aatrox, and then... you know, Alawi's Warden here, Aatrox's Bruiser, and it's Ghostly, and we could maybe end up cutting the Soraka and playing 4 Bruiser, Ghostly, Warden, and like that could be our board, and it could be really, really nice. When you're hit with this spot here, I would probably just sell the Diana. Sage is just not that important of a trait in the early game in spots like this. It doesn't do that much. You know, it does more in the late game when you have more units to actually buff up, but like the AP onto someone like this Zyra, like these other units, it's just not that big of a deal compared to something like 4 Bruiser. It is, I would say, your strongest board right now, but my concern is that next round, as far as like leveling and building a stronger board, I think we need to play towards 4 Bruiser. Though we don't have our items on Bruisers, so it's not amazing to get 4 Bruiser in here. I'm fine not holding anything from this shop, really. I don't think there's anything that important. 2 healthy is pretty broken in this comp. The only downside of taking 2 healthy is we already have... I mean, it synergizes with Bruisers, right? Bruisers give you more % HP. Yeah, this is another one where you can do a little like stats check. So let me pull out Tactic.tools again. Tactic.tools, go to the top comps section, and then you can scroll down and look at your comp, Bruiser, Kaisa, Galio. Go to augments here, and you can even just like sort at 3-2 what the best gold augments are. You see here like Epoch you had, which we rolled as well, and 2 healthy. I think 2 healthy makes more sense in our spot, but yeah, this is like one of the best augments we can get. What did we end up taking here? Balanced budget. Yeah, and balanced budget is, I mean, we can search for it, but it's probably 4.28. I mean, it's pretty good, but like you see the stats on 2 healthy are insane here, 3.84, because you can fit so many 2 costs onto this board for free. So like even in this spot that we're in right now, we're holding 1 2 cost. We could potentially level for another 2 costs. Like if we're holding the Aatrox and we still have the Teemo, like there's all that stuff that we could play for. So yeah, that's the idea at least. Okay, I like that we pivot into 4 Bruiser right now. Like I said, still a little bit awkward, but it's good for now. And yeah, you can be pretty happy with this board. We should scout around just to see if our position needs to change up. Garen's probably not going to get one shot by anything. I still like the Soraka better, the Ultrist. I mean, 1, the Ultrist armor and more scales with the HP that we have, and 2, we kind of need more backline. Like, Diana's just another frontliner. We kind of need more damage than we need more frontline. So I would still just play the Soraka over the Diana here. Also, like I said, I just don't respect Sage that early. There's the Alawi, like I was talking about. I would just play Alawi over Diana here. It's Ghostly and it's Warden. And if somehow you get a Zoe on your board, it would be Arcanist, but that's a little bit far off. But yeah, it doesn't fix the issue of having too much frontline, but I mean, it's still just a better unit in general. The ghostly damage amp is going to help you get through some of these front lines, whereas like Dan is not going to do too much. Yeah, this is actually an insanely scary board here. We're fighting a Silas with a Spark and an Adaptive Helm. The Silas unit is just so insane early. Our board's pretty good as well, so it's at least kind of close, but yeah, it's so hard to kill a Silas. They also have a Moonstone. Like, their spot is so gross here. But yeah, I wish we could have held the Alawi. I don't think it would have swung the fight, but, you know, maybe. I mean, probably not. If you could take your pick of items here, you should definitely go for Glove here. I know Bow builds towards... this is just kind of like an important TFT fact in general, is that... And I don't know if you... because it's kind of like niche... It doesn't tell you this anywhere in game, but items that you have been dropped already, you are less likely to get later. The items that you get dropped from minions come out of a shared pool of items. Well, not a shared pool like with other people, but like you have your own pool of items. But like if you get a glove, that's a glove out of that pool, which means later down the line, it's less likely for you to see another glove. So because we've already got dropped a glove, we're actually less likely to see a glove at Wolves than we are a Bow here. So you'd actually prefer to take the glove off Carousel because you're more likely to see a Bow here, and you want to get to Last Whisper. That's all you really care about here. Bow is like a slightly better component because you can build different stuff out of it, but the Last Whisper is so important on this Kais unit that I think it's worth it to take a glove. It's quite likely that you'll see one Bow at least this game, but taking this Bow, it's actually less likely that you'll see another glove, if that makes sense. It's kind of weird, but yeah, that's just how item math works. How the drop tables work is that like if you've been dropped something, you are less likely to see it later. So it's actually better to take that thing off Carousel because Carousel doesn't count for that. Carousel doesn't care what you've been dropped. You know, you can get anything off of Carousel as long as it's on the Carousel. So something to keep in mind is yeah, just in general, like if you've gotten dropped a rod, it's better to take a rod off Carousel if you need a rod and like another component equally. So yeah, but yeah, I mean our spot's looking pretty decent. I mean, this should always be gold here. Yeah, there's we don't need to upgrade at 2 cost at Teemo 2. Who cares? And yeah, the upside is we're very rich in this position. I think, especially at your elo, you said you're like Masters, and like maybe your MMR is lower than Masters because we trolled a lot. So maybe like Diamond MMR or Masters MMR. In a spot like this, if we hit like if we high roll like 1 or 2 things, you could probably fast 9 in this spot. Like if we high roll like a Sivir plus a Kaisa here, and like maybe 1 frontline upgrade. Like this Tom Kench 2 like I was talking about, you could probably go 9. Unfortunate that we fight this Kais guy here who has a pretty decent setup. They got the Raining Gold and the that augment there, which is pretty annoying. But you know, it's okay. We hit the Aatrox 2. Yeah, like I said, 1 or 2 upgrades here on 8, and I feel like it's very reasonable that we just go fast 9 from this spot. We also we're pretty healthy, 74 HP because we win streaked early. Rod, belt, sword. Ooh, okay, so no glove or bow to speak of, which is kind of awkward. I mean, it certainly has to be Morello Gargoyle, and then you keep sword open. Could even just be GS. The problem is you lose your shred component. Yeah, I'm down to level here and roll a good... Oh my god, okay. Okay, so the question right now is when do we stop rolling? Because our board is going to be Silas in here. If we can hit like 1 Galio, then we could just cut you for Galio, play 6 Bruiser, and then like one Kaisa. Like we could have an insane board in this spot. You do need a little bit more juice here to stop rolling, but I do think you need to be thinking about when you're going to stop rolling in a spot like this. Love the Tom Kench too. Oh my god. Okay. It's kind of awkward. Okay. Now we should not roll anymore this stage. Like our board is fantastic now for this stage. Like I said, the Gargoyle Morello, those are the best slams in this position. It's a little bit sad because you'd love to make something for the Silas here. If you wanted to make something on the Silas, it would be like Crown Guard, but it makes the rest of our items kind of awkward. I'm pretty sure Gargoyle Morello is the best option in this spot here. Gives us that heal cut that we need. Gargoyle is a fantastic item on any bruiser, but you know, like especially our Galio later, it can just hold onto the Tom Kench for now. So yeah, I like Gargoyle Morello here. We can make it after the fight because we need to Morello hold probably the Zyricon in this spot. Usually put it on Teemo, but I mean if you're a high roller and you hit Zyricon, you can do that. Bruiser Crest here. So I think you go for this because you said it was an 8 Bruiser game. It's okay. The 8 Bruiser, this is another spot where you can like stats check because like I haven't played that much of 8 Bruiser this set, but you can go to it is traits and look up the stats of 8 Bruiser. Like I don't imagine that it's amazing. Yeah, 3.95 is pretty mediocre. So like getting this information, the lengths that I have to go to play 8 Bruiser this game, I probably wouldn't go that far. I think Best Friends is a very solid augment in this comp in general, and the Armor Mar does well with the Bruisers, and like the attack speed is good on other units. Even Ultras Crest here for Ultras is quite solid as well. But yeah, I don't think 8 Bruiser is that good. But yeah, you shouldn't roll anymore here in the spot. You can build a perfectly serviceable board right now, get 6 Bruiser in, yeah, with the Bruiser Crest. And is this our best board? Yeah, I like this board a lot. Yeah, and we just stay on this board. You Bruiser the Diana for sure, right? She's a frontline unit. She's going to walk up. Throw these items onto Tom Kench for sure. He's our Galio replacement. You don't want to put him on Silas because he's not really a tank. And then, yeah, like I said, the Morello. Yeah, like, Crown Guard's a great item here. It makes the rest of our items kind of awkward. Yeah, Crown Guard BT. I mean, I don't completely hate it, but the problem with this and with doing stuff like this in TFT in general, because, like, these are great items onto Silas, the problem with this is that now we're 2-item Kaisa, 2-item Tom Kench, 2-item Silas. You'd much prefer get to like a 3-item Tom Kench, which is eventually going to be a 3-item Galio. You want to have 3 items as quickly as possible on units, just because items scale with each other. You know, the more armor and MR you have on a unit, the more value you're getting out of HP, and vice versa. And so like having that 3rd item here onto someone like a Tom Kench that's eventually going to turn to your Galio would be really, really nice. Also, like I was talking about, the heal cut from the Morello is really, really important. Yeah, we're just going to pivot to 8 Bruiser here, which, like I said, like I don't think it's amazing here. Or you end up kind of solo damage doing this, and yeah, you just end up bruisering your Zaya. I mean, you have to, right? It's not going to go on Kaisa. So I mean, this is our board. I mean, it's a pretty cool board. But yeah, I think we actually could have played for something slightly better. Just playing something similar to our other board and then pivoting, like getting just better units in later. Because yeah, like 8 Bruiser, I mean, I think it's fine. And I mean, the Silas actually does pretty well with these items. But yeah, I think like late game, my understanding is that it falls off a bit just because like it's just, yeah, it's too much tankiness, not enough damage. Morello here's good. We're gonna take a sword here. We had an option to take a Morello, right? I think you might, yeah, we did have the option to. I think you might be undervaluing heal cut a little bit. It's really nice to have heal cut on your team in TFT. Like heal cut and shred for your damage type are like the 2 things you almost always want in a game of TFT. Because yeah, we take the sword here. What is this sword even for? Like Zaya item? I guess so. But Morello is like a decent enough Zaya item, and it's heal cut, the heal cut that we need very badly in this spot. So yeah, we're gonna fight this other guy who we really kind of want to wait for this guy to die, and then we can roll on 9. That will make us feel really, really good about our position. But yeah, I mean, fights like this are really, really difficult. Like you see, what happened in this fight is just that like we can't really make it through the Galio with our 8 Bruiser and our only damage being a Kaisa 1 and a Zaya 1. Like I think you would much prefer get to like the 4 trick shot version of the board instead of 8 Bruiser, then you'd actually have the damage, and you still have a ton of frontline in 6 Bruiser. So, you can cut Tom Kench, you can cut the Rek'Sai, you can play 4 trick shot here, and then your board actually looks good. The only awkward thing is we don't really want to roll for it right now because our board's already good enough. So we can just do that rolling on 9 probably. So yeah, but once again, like our items have also made our board kind of like artificially weaker than it should be. Like these fights should be a little bit more winnable, but we don't have the Morello, so it's really hard to get through like all of these. Like you see all of how hard all of these fights are because there's just a Galio sitting on the front line healing up with Redemption, getting shields with Moonstone Renewer, like healing up. Actually, yeah, it's just this that's healing him up, right? But the other big thing in this fight is that no, he's healing up from Sage as well. But the other big thing in this spot is that you have a Silas as well. That's like impossible for you to kill because you have no heal cut. Like, how are we ever getting through the Silas, even though he's a Silas 1? So yeah, now we drop down to 28 HP. Yeah, I do just feel like this fight's a little bit, or this stage is a little bit harder than it should have been. Ooh, and now we end up in a really rough spot. The upside, I guess, is that it looks like that Zaya player did just die, the person that we fought the round before. So there's actually a decent odds that we can hit something here. Wow, that's an amazing hit here. Still no Last Whisper. Ooh, really? Well, let's look at our items again. I was thinking something different here. I was thinking Even Shroud with this cloak. You could also go Morello. Even Shroud. The problem is your Silas items become kind of awkward in this spot. Because then it would be like Even Shroud. You would just go Even Shroud like GS onto Kaisa, which I mean I think is fine. Because yeah, you just need that you need that armor shred, you need that you need that heal cut as well. Like we could have armor shred and heal cut here. Instead we have neither, which is just gonna make a lot of these late game fights really hard. Yeah, I think like I mean it's nice that that other player died, but like once again, by not building these important things, like we kind of I mean I don't really even agree with rolling here. Let's look at how much gold we are again at the start of this round. 65. You can wait one round and then roll, but that's probably I don't think you actually have enough gold to roll next round. So in reality, you probably have to roll a couple more rounds or wait a couple more rounds. But the thing about rolling in this spot is that we don't actually have any pairs. Like it's actually very unlikely that we find anything here. I mean, hitting the Zaya or yeah, hitting the Zaya immediately is a lot. 65 gold here. Next round, we're going to be 62 to level. Why do we have extra XP in this game? Because next round should be interval. It should. Oh, okay. Because 62 is interval. Duh. Right? No, 64 is interval. But we're going from 14 to to 16. I'm stupid. I'm stupid. Okay, so yeah, it's interval next round. 64 gold. We just don't have the gold to level next round. And we have Zaya pair here. I mean, I think it's okay. This spot feels so bad because I feel like we should have been healthier looking at our stage 4. Like being 42 gold here, this being our spot, I don't see why we can't win a bunch of these fights this stage. But I just think like playing there around the 6 bruiser and the way that we played around our items just made the spot a lot harder than it should have been. So like we lost so much HP this stage, and yet now you're probably right that you do have to roll here. It feels so bad because I think we could have gone 9 normally if we had just built a slightly stronger board and we were like a little bit healthier here in this spot, and like if our items were slightly different, I think we'd have more HP and then we could sack 3 rounds and then go 9. Though like we do end up winning this fight. It might be at your elo it's actually fine to stack these rounds and push levels just because people are weak. But yeah, it feels bad to not be able to go 9 here because you being stuck on 8. Oh, I mean if we had known that this was the portal then or the encounter, then we could have just gone 9, but no way to know that. We at least find the Tahm Kench 3. I mean, TK3 is good with 8 Bruiser. Like I said, it's a little bit overkill. I think we should just be looking for a 4 trick shot version of this board as opposed to this version, just because, yeah, I don't think Tahm Kench 3... I mean, Tahm Kench 3 is obviously good. It's just, I think our board's going to lack damage, especially like in fights like this, where the Gnar is so tanky. Though at least they don't have Kindred 3. Maybe we can just, Tahm Kench 3, have him tank for eternity. It's really like who's going to live longer, the Tahm Kench or the Gnar. It looks like the TK has got it with the 8 Bruiser. So yeah, we can beat this guy because their board's pretty unupgraded. I don't know how they ended up in that spot, but hey, I mean, that's good for us. So we're probably top 4 from here. Let's see, how many... You should probably just roll 10 at every... Like, because we're this poor, you should probably just roll 10 every round. Because there's only one Kaisa player now because that other guy's dead. Like, making it to 9 is great, but I'm not confident that we can make it to 9 on this board without a 2-star damage dealer. I guess at least we have the Silas, but yeah, like a lot of fights are going to be very difficult without a Kaisa 2 on our board. So we should just be rolling it to 10 every round here because we can't make it to 9 off this board. If we could make it to 9 off this board, then like the lobby must be insanely weak. I mean, Ultra Spat, we can't get it. Then we're just looking... I mean, I would take Sunfire here. Still harping on the same thing where, I want Heal Cut on this board. We don't have it. It's also a fine item onto someone like a Tahm Kench. Yep, I like the roll here. Just roll to 10 every round. I mean, honestly, at this point, you could even roll to 0. I don't even hate it. Nice. Kaisa 2's big here. And then the Guard Breaker onto Zaya. It's fine. Like I said, I'd prefer Heal Cut here, but I mean, if you're not going to, then I think that's pretty good. This guy's port here. I mean, they have this giant Kale, but can the Kale even kill our Tahm Kench here? Like, Kale is not very good at bursting through these big units like this. Yeah, she just can't. So we kill that guy off. Top 5, maybe top 4 if that other guy dies. So it's definitely at least a top 4. Actually, I think you said in the thing that it was a second, which I could certainly see this game being a second. We capped out okayly, but we are not capping out like high enough to win the lobby because we're stuck on 8. Just because of how stage 4 went, I think. Just because of items. And like, I like the I like the tendency to slam items onto like a 2-star 4 cost like the Silas. Like Crown Guard's a fantastic item on Silas. Adaptive Helm is a fantastic item on Silas, but I think you're neglecting a little bit too much building like Heel Cut and Armor and Armor Shred. I think those things are just too important on a board like this, and those should be higher priority in your mind as far as stuff that you want to build on a board in TFT. Just because, yeah, like it feels it's just so important to get that stuff onto your board. But yeah, I mean, we're kind of cruising with 8 Bruiser. Now we can really think about actually going 9. Our board's pretty decent. Yeah, oh, and there's the Last Whisper. Okay, hey, we finally got there. So not bad. There's Last Whisper. This is a lobby where we would actually really prefer the Heel Cut versus the Gnar versus that giant Darius for some reason that they have. Yeah, but this is a lobby. It can be lobby dependent sometimes how important like Heel Cut or Armor and Marsh Shred is, but like this is a lobby where Heel Cut is really, really important. So definitely something that we would like to pick up here. Man, this guy's board is okay. Like I was not expecting this fight to be that bad. It looked scary at the start just because of set, I guess. But yeah, like their board doesn't look that crazy. Just a bunch of 1 cost 3 stars. It's just really not going to do enough here. So yeah, we just sack 2 more. Go 9. You could hold on to the Volibear for Ink Shadow. That's like normally what you would pivot into if you had infinite gold on 9 is the version of this board where you play more around Dragon Lords, where you get like 4 Dragon Lords in, and it's very nice. But I mean, you can still do it here because you have basically 2 Bruiser plus 1, so you drop down to 4 Bruiser probably, and then just play around Vertical Dragon Lords. I don't hate playing around like 6 Bruiser, but I do think certainly once we get to level 9, there are going to be better units that we can play than like a random Rek'Sai, than a random Atrox. So like you should be thinking about on 9 what 5 costs that we can actually fit on this board that are going to be good, and just like strong 4 costs in general. I mean, you could back row some guys. Like I would back row like Silas probably. Like you could almost solo frontline the Tom Kench just because he's like insanely tanky. I think this is fine as well. I just kind of like giving Silas the attack speed from the thingy, and like before it wasn't really worth it because you'd lose Crown Guard value, but now he's going to get 200 HP back anyway. So yeah, I would. What is this frontline Kindred tech? I mean, Kindred jumps back, so I guess it's fine. But yeah, I mean, this person's finally hit Kindred 3. It looks like they're just not. I mean, they're scaling up, but yeah, I think they're just not scaling fast enough to actually beat our board. Ooh, actually, it's oh my god, Kindred actually smurfed so hard in that fight. That is unfortunate, but that's okay. We get to go 9 next round. Ooh, that's Zyricon 2 off Carousel. Gotta pick that up. The IE is a little bit awkward, but I mean, yeah, it's pretty good. You'll definitely take that. I wish we could pop this this Bruiser item off, but not the end of the world. And so yeah, now we're just gonna level, see what we can potentially add to this board to make us stronger. 48 to level, yeah, a decent amount of stuff. I mean, even random play is fine. Okay, yeah, the Udyr is definitely a better addition here. Tattoo of Fury here. We're gonna just put it on a okay. We put it there. I mean, Loki are these items best on someone like Riven because she's 8 Bruiser? Like probably. The sad part is it's Riven 1, but I don't think like Udyr is even really gonna do any damage here. Like Riven might do more damage than Udyr. We can look at the damage chart after this fight and see. I'm curious actually. Riven 600, Udyr 596. The Udyr at least Udyr had 2 items, so Riven certainly would have done more damage with these items, or even throw them onto the Aatrox. I don't know. Riven like actually kind of uses the items a little bit. Once we hit Udyr 2, these items are definitely better on him though. It's the upside, but I don't know how likely it is that we're gonna find an Udyr 2 here. We only got a couple of rounds left. Maybe this is the last round. If you're unconfident in your board, you can sell Udyr and roll and try to see Galio 2, but we're fighting this Dryad person again. We lost them last time, but like low-key it seemed like a fluke, and we've spiked now with the Udyr, though it's not like the biggest spike. Oh wait, did we? Are you a genius, by the way? Let's look at our position again. Oh my, I think you are. Okay, I don't know if you did this on purpose, but this is really, really good positioning versus Gnar players. Putting your Udyr here in front of the Gnar with a straight like front line like this, because what happens here is, especially with Udyr 1, is that Gnar's gonna burst down this Udyr, and before Udyr casts, he's gonna hit Udyr and drop him into his like Edge of Night effect where he drops aggro, and then Gnar has nowhere to walk because this Udyr drops aggro, so Gnar actually has to walk around. Now normally they just have a flat front line and the Gnar has to walk like all the way around. They're actually, it kind of worked out for them that they put Kindred up here because now Kindred jumps back and the Gnar can come up here, but it's still like a lot of time that you're wasting, which is really nice. So I don't know if you did that on purpose. If you did, you're a genius. If not, try to do that more on purpose because it's really nice versus any kind of melee carry. Gnar is like the most common one that you can do that versus, and it's usually when you have like an Udyr 1 exactly in this spot. So yeah, we win that fight. Now we're top 2, and it's just one more fight to go versus the last guy. I mean, our board looks pretty strong. It's like I said, I think just our main goal at this point would be to cut this Aatrox. Well, actually, we can't really cut Aatrox anyway. It's so awkward. Like, we would normally want to cut Aatrox plus Rek'Sai. You might just be stuck on this board at this point, and that's okay. You don't have a lot of gold. Who's the last board that we're fighting? I mean, it's this guy again. Probably just Gargoyle. I mean, it's definitely Thomas Kench item. No. This guy's not doing enough damage for that to be valuable. And this Tom Kench has like a billion HP. You definitely go for third Tom Kench item here for sure. I think now that we have Udyr 2, well, actually, we didn't put our Udyr in the same spot, so he ended up dashing up. But yeah, we can't really replicate the same thing we did last fight, which means the Gnar gets uptime faster. It's a little scary. Looks like we're still winning this one, though. Nice. Okay. So it's just one more fight. I would, like I said, just try to do that Udyr thing again. Roll down here for sure for Galio 2. Wow, we hit a Rek'Sai 2 on 9. That's pretty hilarious. Okay. Just roll down for Galio 2. Don't hold the Udyrs. Like, what are we holding the Udyrs for? Roll. Nice. Okay. Okay. I like the quick swap, though, where Xayah is left on the left side. This actually feels really bad, because obviously our last Whisper is not next to what our Kai'Sa is hitting, which feels awful. Also, our Gnar isn't going to... Okay, the Gnar didn't actually wrap, but having the last Whisper opposite side of the Kai'Sa feels horrible in this fight. Oof. Okay, a rough fight in the end, positioning-wise. But I think you know that. You just weren't able to swap quickly enough, which, it's TFT. It happens. But yeah, I mean... I would say I generally like what's the summary of this game? I would say I would think a lot more crucially about which items you're building and when. Like I was talking about, like the sword take here, the items that you're taking off carousel. I feel like this is a big items game. Like I think if you had better items this game, you could have actually just made it to 9. I like that you didn't overroll here, but I think you were pretty close to overrolling. But I did like that you stopped when you still had... I mean, you basically rolled it as much as you could here. Like, I think you should, in spots like this, be a little bit more cognizant of when you can actually stop rolling. And then augment selections, I would say, just look at stats for augment. I mean, you don't have to, like, just always take the highest win rate augment. Like, that's not good, but just being aware of what's, like, a broken augment. Like, not taking too healthy when you're playing this Kai'Sa comp is, like, kind of a sin. Like that augment is way too good in this comp. So, yeah, I would... Be more cognizant of building like heal cut and armor/MR shred in comps like that. Just get an idea of what augments are kind of broken. Think more about like the sort of item economy part of it. Like I talked about, like taking that glove off carousel instead of taking that bow. We didn't end up really getting punished for it, but we could have very easily got punished for it if we had got dropped bow, which would have been pretty reasonable. And then, yeah, just thinking about the highest cap versions of your board. Like, I mean, 8 Bruiser is fine, but... and a lot of verticals like this will be very strong. It's just 8 Bruiser is not really one of them, just because you end up in sort of like a low damage setup like this. But yeah, hopefully this was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions. Okay, bye.